Welcome back, chat, to the DreamHack Open featuring Fortnite, where we are an hour and 15 minutes into our semifinals of the European portion of the competition. We've had tens of thousands of players compete yesterday to be the top 1,500 that we're seeing right now. And out of these 1,500, only 100 are going to be moving forward to the grand finals later today. It's still anyone's game with an hour and 45 minutes left before our queues close. Calling all of the action, it's Sancho, West and Shio Wager. Sancho, the game's going well so far?
Oh yeah, they are intense. Just talking to Shio during the break, I was like, man, these are crazy. You know, the circle was intense on that one, and considering that we had the tale of two cities. You know, we had Leo and Huddy going at it. You know, Leo was just literally with a green tag, and then you had Huddy with the most powerful mythical charge shotgun. And to see the results and to see that Huddy made it to the top 4 and Leo was able to make it to the top 2 with what he was working with, it just shows you how the caliber of the players that we are having in this DreamHack Open is insane.
Well, keeping that going with results and highest caliber, let's take a look at our top 20 leaderboard to see who is sitting up on top for the first hour of our semifinals. And look at that, Janice up on top. The reigning champ from the FNCS Chapter 2 Season 2 Invitational. Right behind him, it is D-Jin with 178 points. Actually, he's tied with Janice right now. Leo the Crack is going to be in 3rd. And hey, look at that, Benji Fishy, everyone's favorite European player, in 4th. And then we have Swaps in 5th.
Yeah, this is very nice. One name that I'm missing here that did really well last game is Huddy, but one name that we do see is Leo. And just to put a little bit of perspective on that, it's every kind of game matters overall. Actually, I'm blind. Huddy's in 9th place. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Still, it's nice to see that these games are mattering. What I was going to say is that we'll see now if that happens again and Huddy does fall off. If you missed out on a game and you still look really good on broadcast afterwards, and you guys in chat are wondering where this player could possibly be, every game kind of matters, and you need to stay consistent or you will fall behind and will not be able to be in the top 100.
Yeah, it's interesting as well. Mongrel and Mappy are having identical performances. Both have 194 points. First with 5 elims, 3rd with 3 elims in their first 2 games, and they're 16th and 17th. And we also were talking about is every elimination matters because they're taking away points from other people that are vying for the top 100, but as well is like these we're talking about how people run into each other like Huddy and Leo. You know, the storylines are colliding. So when they collide from the leaderboard, you kind of bump people down. So when people are popping off, like we've been mentioning, getting like victory royales and high 13 eliminations, that's going to affect the rest of that 1,500 pool competing for that 100th place.
Yeah, and everyone, we're about to jump into game again. I know you guys want to see all of the action here at the Fortnite DreamHack Open. My goodness, let's just jump right into it. Sancho, Shio, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys after the game.
Thank you, Kelly. So while that she always kind of goes towards the left side of the screen, never flies out right. That's interesting. I feel like they're hinting something maybe for season 4. Who knows? Anyways, DreamHack Open Europe is dropping down. 3rd game that we're watching on broadcast. Sancho, this is a middle split. This is a peanut butter jelly sandwich, classic style. What are we looking at here?
Oh my goodness. What this basically says to me is that we're gonna see so many POI right and early on for contention, because this is what it's going to be all about. We're almost in the midpoint of these games. In the midpoint of the games, yeah, I know a lot of pros like to stick with what they want to do, but there always comes a moment of like, should I land somewhere else? And that 50-50 bus is always tempting, especially if you're looking for a hot game. If you're on your W key game, considering that flows right over authority, as we did see Castery go towards that, it's going to be very interesting. But I think Castery has made that his own Castery rock, and he's not going to give anybody that authority. But we saw as well, oh my goodness, in the other game, how the glider was able to be a big factor for the victory. Oh my goodness.
Kylix, I mean, he was a factor last game, and he made it all the way through, but I don't think he was fighting Kaiko all the way off spawn. So I feel like this time, maybe he was last time when he won, but hard to beat that man in that position with the charge. Around the map, though, Ender also getting his pickoffs. 6 people, 8 people almost eliminated right now. That's kind of insane off of this bus.
Yeah, again, I mean, when I compete in these things, I know I'm not the high caliber players that we talked about on the leaderboard. It's just tempting, man. When the bus goes down 50-50 down the split and you get like that hot spot, as we did see in Craigie Clips, and you've seen the activity just pick on up because a lot of players are tempted to try out the new spots, or tempted to see something different. If you're having a bad run, sometimes you gotta, like I said, play out of your box. No pun intended. But right now we have a very simple fight that's engaging right now. This is a very interesting area. I know back in the day, Nick A30 really liked this spot. This is where I've seen him kind of traverse, but that was a nice one. And Ender Cheat gets out, train hard, Zagso. But these are like the scavenger routes that Sundown was talking about. You know, these kind of like unnamed POIs. You can still have a very successful route. You can get a very nice kit, get all the materials. Like usually the rotation out of this castle is going down towards the crash site to the coral area on the west side of the coast. And we're taking a look, and we mentioned Benji Fishy on their leaderboard as well. He eliminated Zays. So Benji Fishy doing his thing, trying to qualify. You know, Benji Fishy has as well as looking for that signature win. I know Benji Fishy had his own cup, feeling the vibes of that. Everyone, the fish army. I don't even know, what is the fish army? I don't know. I got to ask Aquaman. You know, what does he call the fish army? I don't know. You let me know, Arthur Curry. But yeah, it's good to see Benji Fishy being very competitive and still rocking and rolling here at DreamHack Open, as Loki with the God aim gets Rio, by the way, and sends him right out and converts him into a 5-point elimination.
Yeah, nice high key box fight, nice elimination there too, all the way over at Camp Cod. One thing that we're noticing here, at least on broadcast, is a nice insight as to how this side of the map gets played. Usually you don't get to see a lot of this southern POI game to game unless you're really tuning in to very specific streams. But it's nice to see overall what's going down all the way here at Fish City Central. Speaking of fish, Benji Fishy placing well almost the last couple of games.
Finished
14th,
6th place.
15th, 6th place. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Finished 6th place in the last DreamHack EU back in July. And he was very, 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 very strong in the NA East region. Noah Riley picks up an elimination in the kill feed, in the eliminating feed. Did really well as well. We mentioned him as someone that's been heating up recently. Now we got the nice and simple ambush play. Ambush. Emphasis on the bush, you know? And this is going to be a nice opportunity.
You think it's nice? I don't feel like Safaris gets tagged here at all.
No,
I lied almost. Wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a minute, dude. See? It's like, this is the plays that you need. I mean, we already saw one on the broadcast where literally he got up close to the grill. Ooh. Big time tags down to the whites. And this was, I think he was waiting for him to go into the water, knowing that, you know, he's going to have an opportunity. Now, granted, he could have waited a little bit longer so he would be out into the deep end. But this is a nice push right now, and it's going to be a simple 1v1. There is someone lurking and looking into this fight, trying to see if they can get some nice tags themselves. Usually Storm Surge is not a factor. It could be, but nice use of the crash pad. Now, oh no, go for the highlight. Ooh, that was so close going for that AR spray.
That was got tagged up himself, but it's all good. EGRM picks that one up onto Safaris. Man, that's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. The ambush play worked.
How did that even? I guess these guys were fighting the whole time, and he didn't respect or see this man inside that top bush. It's kind of odd. I don't see that usually happening.
I got this detective mode. All right, what happened is EGRM went up, built a height, kind of put pressure on ISEF, right? Got ISEF into a healing situation because he built in brick, and then he disengaged and went into the bush. I don't even.
But the man was
see the VID. You see it.
The man was looking the whole time over at that bush. I'm just so surprised I didn't see him in there. So
I'm just saying, man. You know, detective mode. You know what I'm saying? The new Batman trailer happened. I'm all in on that new Batman. It's just the same way as I'm all in. I'm believing in Kezix to qualify here. It's a big name. Well, 115 points. I gotta get it. We gotta get an update on what's the threshold right now. What's the pace? Maybe we get some projections from all the analysts out there on the Twitterverse. Maybe we'll figure that out. But Kezix, big name in the EU scene, has a nice opportunity here to qualify into the grand finals, has a great kit right here in this match. And this is what we've seen. There's so many players kind of rotate through here. I mean, this is where Bizzle like to land it sometimes when he's running solos. This mountain area, you got a high advantage. You could park up here if you want to. You could take a look and get some nice tags on people, being opportunist. But another ambush play is not exactly a bush, but it gets sussed out immediately, and Kezix goes on the offense and says, I don't think so. I'm a little bit more smarter than that. You cannot get away with that. And now we have ourselves an old-fashioned build fight, and a lot of wood's being used in this fight, and a lot of exchanges with bullets is being happening right now. They do not want to use up their precious material unless they have to, considering that they work so hard to get to this point, and knowing that the rotations are not going to have a lot of these precious materials like brick and metal, considering that there is no cars out here in this map to farm the metal. But now, right into the box to fight and gets it. Sifts, unfortunately, ends the run that I believed in Kezix. I had the caster's curse. I should not believe in anyone anymore. I should just believe in Shio.
Oh, no way. Scuff tried to go for the hunting rifle shot. Could have actually traded out some tack shotgun damage, but chooses not to, or just opts for the highlight play. It's Noah Riley, who we were talking about, with some more big shots. Scuff now taken out. What a way to third party a fight. Usually people just like to beam it up and don't get too close to these big build fight situations. I had so much prep there, Sancho. I was ready to talk about Kezix and the way he got taken off of spawn and how we're going to see his game go on with this elimination, but he got taken out. I was ready then to say, okay, Scuff taking out a top player, trying to move to the top. How does that look? But, you know, Noah Riley changed that. So let's talk about Noah Riley a little bit, right? People keep saying he's that new blood walking by. I feel like he's defined himself, though. I want to treat him like a legend in the making, more so than someone trying to define himself, because we know now this man is capable of consistent top 5, top 10 performances. And I'm just really impressed with this style of play where I think he's the #1 player at not hesitating and going for decisions and playing with his time really efficiently.
Just to talk about that little pitcher in situation we had there, Wave Giannis is on a elim streak and got a dub. So the pressure is going up. The threshold is going up. The projections are looking at 275 to 285 for the top 10. And just to really piggyback on Noah Riley as this fight's breaking out, one of the best in the region, putting up big time elimination totals and some of the highest single game elims in FNCS solos. So look for him to put up big numbers here today, as you mentioned, and look for him to be a legend in the making. As Moraine, I see you out there. You see what he did. That was nice. That was very nice.
Yeah, for Moraine and just for the lobbies that we're going to be watching now, a lot of these point totals will start to rise and rise. I believe it's around 130, 125 points right now to stay in that top 100. So Moraine is well on his way to stay qualifying for DreamHack. I mean, he's used to winning DreamHack, so making it to grand finals, I'll call it, hopefully don't curse it, is going to be easy for him. That being said, now we're going to be looking at a lot of top names in these games over and over again. I think in the last one, we saw Chulex, we saw Jamslide over at low ground as well. A bunch of people fighting all the way around. It'll be business as usual, maybe a little bit more grand finally as well when we watch people. There it is, Queasy, Thomas HD on your screen. The big veterans, the big legends who have defined their names. And Thomas has his favorite weapon. And I would just say his weapon in general, claimed it the best at using it, I think, across the world. It's that hunting rifle.
Yeah, we saw him do some nasty work in the FNCS Souls Invitational with the heavy sniper rifle. And you said it, man. Some big names. This is going to be a stacked game here, Shio. We got Queasy, Wakey, Noah Riley, Moraine, Shinskin, Rifla, and Thomas. Thomas HD. I kind of like that. The weapon of choice. There's always like a kit that you have to feel comfortable with. And we saw Bizzle, you know, Bizzle is the name that I mentioned. Bizzle is very comfortable using the silence sniper rifle. I know it's not part of the world at the moment, but the hunting rifle, we haven't seen as it, you know, it's a great highlight. You know, I'm sure all the trick shotters out there, the FaZe people like FaZe Muse out there enjoying the hunting rifle. But here in the competitive setting, we've been seeing it be so strong, especially for players standing still. Here on the DreamHack broadcast, we saw so many players be taking out with a nice headshot, and I'm expecting one right here from Thomas. He does get a nice tag, living up to the name here, Shio. Big time hit for Thomas, and I think that's going to give him the green light to kind of cut this player off on this rotation, but he's going to have a nice way to get into center with that.
I think right now he's just looking to get all his mats up. He could use a player. as a reservoir for materials. Just push him over, get his materials all the way up.
That's just such a weird image, man. A reservoir, like, you know.
There it is. All right, this is what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, the reason the sniper is so good, the reason Thomas is so good with the sniper is because it's a dynamic weapon. That scope sniper rifle, suppressed sniper rifle, whichever variant you're using, it's really good at being a static weapon where you stop yourself, line up shots, look for patterns, then shoot. For Thomas, he gets to stay aggressive. He gets to throw shots out, just sling them basically, and really get to move around the map still freely. Seeing a picture of what's going down around him as well as he shoots these shots. Yes, they're harder to actually land, but overall, it's a lot easier to fit an aggressive playstyle that Thomas has. And you have to be very careful then, because these long range shots, once you get used to the trajectory, they can easily land, as you saw from Thomas. Past that too, just in general, there's so many more opportunities that get raised up for getting shot, and it really changes the way people rotate. Interesting though that player had that shockwave launcher. Thomas took him out, and now someone else has it, who I think is not used to playing with it. This endgame will be very interesting. Not sure what Bly is doing. Might need to take some courses on throwing projectiles, because that's 3 stinks with 0 damage. You have the item. It's powerful. You got to be able to use it.
Man, I'm glad production got that replay up of Thomas, is that 240, and they dropped it in twice, because that's how nasty it was. So nice. You got to see it twice. And it looks like Bly here is being very aggro. You're being an instigator, not only with the stinks, but sending in that big nasty RPG rocket right into people's builds. You just want to let people know, like, hey, do not mess with me, but the rotation needs to be made. And I think he made all that ruckus so he can freely rotate. And I like what Thomas said. We saw his rotation. He took a very dominant position on top of the antenna. And for someone that has the prowess of the hunting rifle and who could put people in some nasty crosshair situations, that's going to be a very strong little, I guess, sniper's nest for him to work with. But Bly right now has a strong, very, very dangerous situation that he's in, because if you start instigating the lobby's going to focus on you. And that is happening right now as someone just gets right inside of his grill. And he has to work with a candidacy, and this is where it would have been nice to have the stinks to kind of defend yourself, and the crash pads are just hitting every single thing, and you finally gets a clean one and goes down to the coast to get some breathing room and hopefully find some kind of sanctuary away from this push. But that's just not happening. There's no rest for you, young man. You got to keep working and get it away, as now the rest of the lobby is catching up to the someone that was being an instigator.
The biggest issue right now for Bly is every time he uses one of these crash pads, he's not actually shooting it out once he's in midair. So races can keep following him by, get easy shots down. And now Bly is actually given over to someone else completely differently, who didn't even want to take a fight. He was so isolated.
Bly used look at all the materials that he used right there. The crash pads are still up. All of that led to the downfall. But hey, Bly, you got plenty of time. Well, not really. And now that I'm looking at it, you got some work to do, but you got some games in your back pocket, hopefully. But wait, we're rooting for everybody. I mean, granted, we wish all 1,500 could go ahead and advance, but only 100 can advance. As long as you keep your head up, you have a good mentality, maybe you got some good work, and hey, always you could do that. Hashtag free Fortnite if you want, and rack up and get yourself a nice outfit, get yourself a nice hat, maybe get yourself a nice gaming rig, as Lotus right now is putting in some nice work. 74 points, and as we're seeing the circles revealed, it's like almost a replicate of what we had previously. Looks like it's going to be another dirty dock finish. We did see the circle in full rotation pull up to this beaches, and those beaches had so much chaos, and you're seeing a lot of players, as again, no matter what, they're going to stay away from the water and beachfront, because knowing that the circle tends to pull back the other way, back to the other coast, as Thomas right now is looking for another headshot. No doubt he's feeling it, but this is what you're talking about. It's like a haymaker punch, Shayo. It just comes out of nowhere, and it's the shot that you can't see, so it's a wild haymaker, and the shots that you can't see are the ones that are going to knock you out and put you on the canvas.
Yeah, and I mentioned the word dynamic before when it comes to this sniper, when it comes to Thomas HD. That's kind of just referencing that a lot of stuff you can really use in motion on the fly. That's when things are dynamic. When things are static, they're more so standing still, not moving as much. And right now, Thomas HD, a dynamic player with a dynamic weapon, is in a static position. He's staying all the way up top on this base, not really moving around that much. That means these dynamic items can get even more accurate and their power can be honed. You just saw that shot hit right there. It's a lot easier when it's not used on the fly, even though that's really what it's meant for. And he might find a few more shots to throw down from the static spot, but he might just get dynamic himself with these crash pads. It allows you to make jumps over and over. Now has 4 left. Chinkin in front of him. Trio status, dual status. God, I want to see what else Chinkin can do over in solos. Thomas will now move in 2 boxes once again to put that word down. Lets you be more dynamic, gives you more angles. You get to move around more. But at the same time, the peaks they're making are static. They're more accurate. Thomas using the ebb and flow of these two's ideas to really shape his game style, shape his angles, and power his movements across the map.
Speaking of dynamic players and dynamic personalities, Mongrel had a 2nd place finish as Pablo was able to eliminate Mongrel and pick up that victory royale, but it's showing that Mongrel is still having very strong placement here at the DreamHack Open, and Thomas is still having a strong use of this hunting rifle, picks up another snipe. Wow. I think no matter what, if you were gonna tell me, hey man, you have a chance to win $1 million, and there's only one person in the Fortnite scene that has to take a sniper shot at 300 meters like an apple on top of a head, I'm picking Thomas. Thomas is going to be the one that takes the shot. Thomas placed 345th in Heat 1 with 368 points. So we know that Thomas could rack up a lot of points. But the question is, can Thomas rack up points here in the stack lobby, as I now see another big name in the feed, and that's Kinzel. So Kinzel, Moraine, Chinkin, all in this lobby, including Thomas HD, who's looking for more dynamic plays.
From early game, we saw Kaiko get taken out. He's not going to be here anymore. Thomas somehow finds someone in his box. It do be like that sometimes. You're stepping to Thomas, though, and he picks that up so easily. 4 eliminations, I think 7 or 8 sniper shots hit in just the last 6 minutes. Insane game from him so far. Yeah. And now we're really looking at a stacked lobby. I think Kiriache is all the way there on the lower ground. We just saw Janice in this game. Kinzel is here too. Queasy. I think I might have seen Tayson's name. I'm not sure. That's not Kiriache. That's Vaptoriache. Okay, true. A little bit of that respect with the name tag outside the bat. The Siptos is here. We saw him in top 10 before too. Ender alive. A lot of good people in this game. It'll be a very, very difficult rotation to make once this half and half gets through.
Look at it. There's so much congestion in the half in and half out, as like about 30% of it is in water. And this is what we saw on the previous match in the broadcast. A lot of players exhausted so many builds. Luckily, the circle went back over old builds. So if this continues pushing north, it's going to cause so much issues, as we're still on board with Nako, who picks up a nice elim through the window right from his wall, as Noah right now has a strong position. I think Moraine is sitting at mid as well. They've been having a nice overview of what we're watching. We're seeing that the congestion is still building up as everyone is so allergic to the water, to the beach. It's fine to go to the beach, get yourself some sun and vitamin D, but they're realizing here in Fortnite world, don't go down there. It's too dangerous, and who knows, maybe a shark is lurking on by. Stranger things have happened here at DreamHack, as we get in a nice overview and seeing all the apartments and the catacombs that is building up, as Mulker is sitting up at height. But where's the story right now is going to watch how Nate traverses here, and so you're going to see it goes back down south. And again, it's a nice pool for everybody, but for the people down low, it's going to be an issue because they have to go through all these buildings.
Yeah, the 2 major bases are here right now. Mulker's one person, as you can see on the right side, with Thomas HD and Moraine holding down that entire side. But big names that are there who have the zone right now are Noah O'Reilly, Rifla, Wakey, Kinzel. I think Janice as well. So the side of the zone that has power is very powerful. Racist will make his way over. A lot of people will be losing launch or using launches and losing them too from their inventory to get to this spot fast, and they must, because it's past the mountain, it's above it. Janice is in trouble. He might be just get taken out right here as Serenity swaps, tries to go all the way up. He had a 13 elimination win previously, but once you're up against Noah O'Reilly, Might be a lot more difficult to get that one down. Queasy rotates on foot as Noah jumps up through the skies. Thomas HD is trying to get towards the front side of this zone. Everyone is not trying to get left behind. They're so close to the front. And that means if you are in the back, if your Serenity swaps, you're going to be targeted by one of the best players in the region, Noah Riley, with big beams.
Big beams, and Noah now has Moraine down below for second from height, but he's holding this all by himself. Remember, we saw the shockwave launcher in use, but it was kind of misused, so whoever has it may not have the ability to take away height from Noah, but it's Moraine that's really close on by, so you have to keep your head on a swivel as we're still watching Noah creating more beams. And someone else as well, we have Wakey sitting here just waiting, taking a lot of crash pads out and ruining people's rotations. So that's going to be a strong play for Wakey as he does find someone tarping out a big time hit, and he's going to pick up some nice refresh, and he still has the mobility to his name. But look at it, as the storm is going north to south, back and forth, that's only going to benefit someone like Noah, but it looks like Noah had to give up height here, Shio.
Had to give up height, but this makes him a lot more secured, looking for shots left and right through this layer. It's looking good for Noah right now. A few people's in his box. It's all good though. Has a lot of materials, about 700 to play with moving through this zone. If there's one person making top 5 right now, I think I can guarantee it has to be Noah Riley. Just playing very safe, very smart as Gaff OW takes overall on height. Tamir is conquering that low ground, fighting people like Chinkin and Queasy. Noah Riley is just slightly a little bit behind. He's looking upwards, trying to get people like Crush down so he can get to a better layer. He finds that layer and is still on the chase, making aggression his compass and following it through with the true north. There it is, an elimination there. Gets some crash pads in the box too. He might be able to use them to catch up to zone and get something aggressive down. Gets all the way up, but chooses to still be slightly lower. That wood will be a lot more crucial, a lot better to hold with on low ground. He looks over back at Crush once again with Minzo. Wakey's all the way on height now. That's a big pickup on Krusty. 5 eliminations for Noah Riley.
Noah is on fire right now with the nice side pat to get this nice outside rotation. He was able to pick off that player right there as Wakey is sitting on height. We do see Thomas HD still up right now, finished 27th in DreamHack North American East. So now that he's on ping, but Kinzel's in trouble. Look at that wall. He's gonna have to make his way up over that wall, as we're seeing here on the bottom. His rifle is in trouble as well. But Noah is putting the whole lobby on notice, racking up his 6th elimination right now. And he's gonna have the ability to save some materials as he's working through these old builds.
Looking for the next shot. There it is.
Wow.
And the cap 2 with the stairs. Nice edit. A good upgrade to legendary items in the inventory for a legendary game that Noah is putting down. Gets the pick that he shouldn't have. And after that, another person falling down. The dynamic range of Noah Riley with this loadout is so beautiful to watch. Working for double digits on eliminations. He does crash pad a little bit too far ahead. I don't think it matters. Doesn't have floppers, but with aim like this, every player in front of you basically is one. Another big hit. 10 eliminations for Noah Riley. Rifler going down in the feed. Noah with his big ramp up, 11. He gets shot down almost for 12. It's not possible. Wakey is going to be there to watch Tilt Turn take him out. And now we're here with our final 3 people for a zone that's going right off the edge.
Wow, the compass. Noah Riley was heading to that North Star, and he was flying and flying. What a big game with 11 eliminations, but it's Wakey with the big game himself. Now he has a shockwave launcher, and he has everything in his ability to get the victory royale. Shady is sent out, and that is a wrap right there, ladies and gentlemen. A victory royale. Wakey with 5 eliminations and the 60 points total for placement.
Last minute eliminations in the last minute of the game. We'll have to see how the standings shake up after that one, after this break from the DreamHack European Opens.